Have you ever had a great product idea and just wondered, how do I actually get this thing made and delivered to my doorstep? Well, today we're going to break down that exact process. We're diving into the importer's journey step by step to show you how to turn that dream into a delivered reality.
So let's get real for a second. Are you just tired of being in a market that's totally saturated? You know, where you're selling the same stuff as everyone else, and the only way you can possibly compete is by slashing your prices? It's just a frustrating race to the bottom. But here's the good news. There is a way out.
And this quote really gets to the heart of it. The only way to truly escape those endless price wars is to create something that's uniquely yours. We're talking about a product with your design, your features, your quality standards. That's a real competitive advantage, something that your competitors can't just copy and paste. Okay, so every great product starts with the dream. This is that initial spark, right? But this first step is absolutely crucial. It's where you take that fuzzy idea in your head and turn it into a concrete blueprint. And honestly, it's also where a lot of importers make their biggest, most costly mistakes. So what is that number one mistake? It's going to a factory with just a vague idea. When you do that, you're basically asking them to fill in all the blanks, to make assumptions. And that, my friends, almost always leads to errors, defects, and a product you're not happy with. The professional way to do it? You show up with a detailed technical sheet. I mean, everything is specified. The exact Pantone color, the specific grade of material, the precise dimensions. This isn't based on assumptions. It's based on facts. It's the foundation for your success. All right, so you've got your detailed product blueprint ready to go. Now what? Well, now it's time to find the right partner to actually make it. This decision is huge. Choosing the right factory can literally make or break your entire project. And here's the first hurdle you've got to clear. Are you talking to a real, honest-to-goodness factory, or are you dealing with a middleman, a trading company just pretending to be a factory? The answer to that question has a massive impact on your costs, your quality, and your ability to communicate clearly. So, how can you spot a bad partner from a mile away? Well, you've got to keep your eyes peeled for these giant red flags. If a supplier refuses to show you their business license, run. If they demand 100% of the payment up front, huge red flag. If they won't let a third-party inspector in, or they get all squirrely when you ask detailed technical questions, yeah, you know what to do. Walk away. So to avoid all that drama, you need a process, a professional one. Here's how it works. First, verify their legal documents. Get that business license and make sure it's legit. Second, ask for certifications, like ISO, to prove they meet quality standards. Third, check their export history. Have they shipped to your country before? They need to know the ropes. And finally, and this is non-negotiable, demand a physical sample before you even think about mass production. That physical sample we just talked about, the prototype, it is so important, it gets its own section. This is the moment. It's that super exciting stage where all your plans, all your technical sheets, and all your emails suddenly become a real physical product that you can actually hold in your hands. And this analogy just hits the nail on the head. You would never, ever build a house without a detailed set of plans, right? Of course not. The same exact logic applies to your product. The prototype is your plan. Trying to manufacture without one is just asking for a complete disaster. And here's why it's so critical. Think about it. A photo can't tell you the whole story. Not even close. It can't tell you if the plastic feels cheap, if the stitching is strong, or if the color is exactly right in person. The prototype is your one and only chance to test all those things, the durability, the functionality, everything, before you commit to making thousands of them. And if you need proof that this process works, just look at this number. According to the experts at Melon, when a project follows a proper prototype and quality control process, you know what the rate of design or quality errors is? 0. That's right, 0%. A solid process doesn't just lower your risk, it can completely eliminate it. Okay, so your prototype is perfect. You've approved it. Now things get real. It's time to scale up to mass production. And this phase is all about two things: ensuring consistent quality and protecting your investment with solid contracts and smooth logistics. Now, a contract might seem like a formality, but let me tell you, when you're manufacturing in Asia, it is your single most important tool for protection. This isn't just a handshake deal. It's a legally binding document that locks in every single detail: materials, costs, deadlines, and, crucially, it includes penalties if the factory fails to deliver. This is your shield. But a great contract isn't enough. You have to be proactive about quality. And that means inspections at 3 absolutely critical moments. First, before production starts, to inspect the raw materials. You don't want them swapping in cheaper stuff. Second, during production, so you can catch any mistakes early before they've made thousands of them. And third, a final pre-shipment inspection to check everything, quality, quantity, packaging, before you send that final payment.
Once everything passes that final inspection, your products are officially on the move. And this is where the logistics chain kicks in. It's a whole journey, from the factory floor to the port, then across the ocean on a ship, through the maze of customs clearance in your country, and finally onto a truck and delivered to your warehouse. Every single step needs to be coordinated perfectly.
All right, for our final section, let's pull all of this together and look at the huge difference between an amateur, who just kind of wings it, and a professional who operates with a solid, repeatable process.
This chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the amateur. Their strategy is basically based on promises and luck. They're constantly hit with hidden fees, and they only find out about defects when a container of bad products lands at their door. The outcome? It's risky, it's stressful, and it's expensive. The professional, on the other hand, relies on data and process. They know their total costs up front. They inspect quality at the source. The result is a business that's controlled, scalable, and, most importantly, profitable.
So that brings us to the big question you have to ask yourself. As we wrap this up, really think about it. Is your business currently built on luck? Or is it built on a solid plan? Because at the end of the day, the choice is yours. And that's our look at the importer's journey. A huge shout out to the experts at Blue Melon for sharing their fantastic insights that made this all possible. We really hope this gives you a clear roadmap for your own journey from dream to delivery. Thanks so much for joining us.